deadly Ebola has ravaged West African countries, killing hundreds of productive citizens. The epidemic is the worst to have hit any region. Health Africa International, with a major objective of using education as a key tool to tackle the spread, launched the campaign with its maiden event. By the kind courtesy, the Right Honourable Speaker John Bercow, and support from Lord Boateng and Right Honourable Keith Vaz, the United Against Ebola campaign was launched at the Speaker's House on Thursday the 22nd of January 2015. A well-attended event, the United Against Ebola soiree was graced by politicians, ambassadors, corporate institutions, individuals and press, both British and international, all supporting a cause to make West Africa Ebola-free. Right Honourable John Bercow, in his welcome speech, praised Michael and Akosua Essien for their vision and their quest to help humanity through their various efforts, and urged all in attendance to do all they can to support this campaign.
And we are gathered today out of respect for and sprung from a desire to give help to people who have been, through no fault of their own, wretchedly cursed by this most grievous disease, which as we speak, and we heard a few of the statistics just now, is spreading like wildfire. We had an event relating to football and the fight against racism several months ago here, which I think was a great event. And on that occasion, I met a great many people that I hadn't come across before, including the great Michael Essien. What we're doing tonight is, of course, a very modest contribution to awareness raising, but I hope you will feel it's worthwhile. It's a huge privilege for me, supported by a number of my colleagues, to be able to play host. I do just want to mention Paul Boateng, who was a brilliant minister and High Commissioner in South Africa, who knows this subject and who cares about it, and who immediately sprung into action and was willing to meet and talk to Akosua about it. I thank my dear friend Keith Vaz for his engagement and support, and he's got his sister Valerie at this moment standing behind him, although I have to say I think it should be the other way round, Keith. I think you should be standing behind Valerie. And very importantly, amongst others, and I do want to thank her because she has a hugely busy schedule and a very broad range of demands upon her time, the Secretary of State for International Development, within whose policy brief this subject falls, Justine Greening, is also amongst our number. Justine, thank you for making the effort and giving the signal that your presence represents. That whatever you do, you can help. If you're in the world of football, promotion, sponsorship or administration, you will know people. You will be able to forge alliances. You will be able to attract ambassadors to assist in the United Against Ebola campaign. I'm absolutely thrilled that you're here for this first event. Thank you for coming.
The great thing about this campaign, the thing that distinguishes it from so many others, is that it is rooted in Africa and the African experience. It recognizes that the only way forward and out of this crisis has to be by an African response, led by Africans, rooted in the African experience, addressing what is a global crisis.
Lord Boateng and Right Honourable Keith Vaz both delivered speeches to reiterate the seriousness of the Ebola situation and the need to rally support for Health Africa International to embark on its educational campaign.
There are a number of household names here today, corporate leaders. If each one of them tells each one of their employees to give just £1 to the cause of Health Africa International, of the campaign against Ebola.
The highlight of the evening was when Akosua Essien delivered a compelling and moving speech to explain what the whole United Against Ebola campaign is about and the call to support Health Africa International campaign.
I'll start by telling you a story. He was a 22-year-old boy, over 6 foot tall. He had dreams and aspirations of becoming one of the world's best basketball players. He contracted Ebola from his father, and in less than 3 months, he had transmitted and wiped out 7 members of his family, including himself. His unaffected mother has been banished as a witch. That is the story of Kaiser Dor, one of Liberia's rising stars. In Sierra Leone, people are dying each and every day, with families and communities in constant mourning. These are just some of the few cases in West Africa where thousands have died over the last few months, rendering in some villages ghost towns where there were not even any to tell their story. Lack of education on Ebola, cultural practices and myths have all conspired to aggravate the spread of this disease. Many governments, agencies, institutions, charities, corporations and citizens from all over the world are greatly supporting the severely affected countries with immediate medical help, aid, and creating some awareness about the disease. As a West African, I am indeed very grateful. However, with the alarming situation in the region, more needs to be done to address the issues at hand. As a charity, our approach is purely education as one of the key fundamental tools to help address the situation. An English writer, G.K. Chesterton, the Prince of Paradox, once wrote, "Education is the soul of a society as it passes from one generation onto the other." Health Africa International is an organization focused on the prevention of persistent but easily preventable diseases that kill many in Africa. We use a global network of carers, givers, and educators with the belief that the answer to Africa's most persistent health issues lies in the power of knowing. The power of knowing is the advantage that comes with knowing how and why diseases spread. This is what United Against Ebola stands for. A preventative educational and awareness campaign is vital to support the medical effort in both the affected and non-affected countries in the entire region. The objective of our campaign is to inform people about how Ebola spreads, debunk prevailing myths about the disease. We are most concerned about the people at grassroots level, in disadvantaged villages and communities. These are the people who don't have access to the internet and television. These are the communities who don't have electricity or who have constant power cuts. These are the people who hold on to their cultural practices and behaviors that are impairing the control of the disease. Those are the people we want to reach. We hope to use soccer stars and their friends from around the world to support our campaign. We hope the likes of Essien, Eto, Adebayo, just to mention a few, will succeed where bureaucrats and others have failed in reaching rural communities to debunk the myths and save lives. Give the people medication alone, and you will save them a day. Teach them prevention, and they will save themselves for a lifetime. Remember, Ebola is an insidious disease which turns compassion into danger and survival into a haunting source of guilt. It threatens the very existence of West Africa and its people.
I will find them next to me.
Emily Sandy, known for supporting various social causes, found United Against Ebola campaign a worthy one to associate with. She made the evening a memorable one with a brilliant performance on the piano and her voice.
I will find them next to me.
The soulful Shazar stunned the audience with her powerful, soulful voice. She made a great impression and summed it up with her track, Cruel World.
Cruel world, yeah.
total of 21,689 cases in just 3 countries, with 8,626 deaths as of today. These numbers are lives. These numbers are people. These numbers are families. These numbers are countries. These numbers are humanity that needs urgent attention or knowledge to right the wrongs of this calamity. Please, please look to West Africa. Thank you.